Josie here with Emotional Wisdom, and today I want to discuss what I believe sets me apart from the rest of the professionals that are under my field, such as other coaches, therapists, counselors, or anyone teaching under the self-help community. So what I believe sets me apart are three things. First thing that I believe that makes me unique from the rest is the duration of my sessions. Typically, a coaching or a counseling or a therapy session consists of 30 to 1 hour, while my sessions are 2 hours per session. Yes, it is 2 hours. Why? I believe that the first hour should be used, and it is typically used, to kind of like build that trust among the client and myself as what other people call container. That is very important for the person that is in a session to feel safe and to ultimately be vulnerable in sharing deep emotions and thoughts and so forth. So that first hour is built for that safe container, while the following hour is for breakthroughs that I tend to give my clients. The second thing that I feel sets me apart, it is the tools that I was born with. I was born with a set of abilities that many may label as a clairsentient and a claircognizant. So what is a clairsentient? Clairsentient is someone that has a high level of felt perception. Basically is able to read energy through the sensation, through feeling it, okay? And a claircognizant is someone that has a high level of knowing things, kind of like a psychic. However, a psychic that is a clairvoyant is able to see messages via image form, while my messages come in knowing, in thought forms. Okay, so it's a thought that comes in and then I just know it in my body and I feel it in my body. So it kind of seals the message. And that, my friend, tends to facilitate my sessions in knowing literally where my clients are stuck. Where I find it fun and fascinating is how I'm going to custom tailor the method that I'm going to use for them to go back into their emotional body and for them to experience an aha moment or a realization of who, what, when, where, and why they are trapped in that stream of consciousness that they're in. That's essentially holding them back from moving forward, from being present in their life and in their everyday, situation. The third thing that sets me apart, it is the techniques that I use. One of the main techniques, clearly it suits me because of my abilities. I'm a clairsentient and claircognizant. Obviously I feel the energy and I can already read what's happening, and then obviously the thought kind of validates it. But for example, how many of you know people that are walking out around suffering from emotional distress, such as anxiety, depression, sadness, and even outbursts of anger? Many of us, that's the majority of us actually, really suffer from that, but don't know that what is the root cause of that, right? We know that we're having anxiety, but we don't know what's creating these anxieties. Well, those are the kind of people I love interacting with and essentially coaching, because I am that perfect person that can help them remember how they're in that state, what happened initially to create what they're living today. So what I do is I have them go into their emotional body and I have them experience their somatic body and sensations, and from there, when they're in that space, right, of being in their emotion and feeling the sensations that are attached to that emotion, well, what that creates is permission for the mind to actually remember what happened. But the mind won't remember in a story form. The mind will remember in fragments, bits and pieces. For example, what you were wearing, the person maybe that might have been present at the time, or the objects that you were around at the time that happened. But the mind doesn't tell you in a full story form. So what I do is I help the client piece the puzzle together so we can essentially create the story. Then we merge, obviously, the somatic, the sensations, and the emotion with the story, essentially going back into time and reliving that experience. It is very important to relive that experience because it allows for you to create resolution to that stuck and fractured energy that's still in the past, okay? That's still in you, governing you. You don't even know that it is, but basically the goal is to create resolution to that initial trauma that has only been repeating itself and ongoing into present time. So be in that space, create a sense of resolution. And what happens there is that then we're able to transmute the energy to where now we are going to give it a new sustainable self-loving definition. And what happens is that you're going to feel that that energy now has matured, because that's what happens. The energy is stuck. It still remains 3 years of age, terrified and fractured. So what happens is that it's like that child, as I like to refer aspects of ourselves, that child now is able to grow up and mature and then accompany you and be with you real time. So what you're going to feel as a byproduct is you're going to feel a sense of relief. That's the number one thing that you're going to experience in your felt perception. It's like you're now relieved, like there's this bag of bricks that you're carrying and you're no longer carrying them. The second thing that you're going to encounter is you're going to feel more complete, more whole. Of course you're going to feel that because more of you has now joined you in real time. And so now you're going to feel more whole, and most importantly, you're going to want to now be present in your current circumstances. You're now going to want to be here, living, and not just letting life pass you by, because that's what happens when someone is in emotional distress. It is too much to handle that you just want to check out. That is the resolution that we want to give ourselves, is I just want to check out. This is too intense. So yes, so those are the 3 things that I feel sets me apart from the rest of the professionals out there that are in similar fields as me. So hesitate no more, shoot me a message, and I will be more than happy to answer your question. With full acceptance, Josie.